Than-Tru ventures deep into the dense undergrowth, his heavy machete swaying at his waist. A bird call fails to lure the hidden civet, yet the forest offers a reward to the patient observer. Crouching beside a massive boulder, he discovers a perfectly ripened striped wild melon. With one precise, practiced strike, he severs the thick vine, securing the first harvest of the day. Steep terrain ahead. Clearing the obstructing vines on a sharp incline, he reveals a dense cluster of deep green striped gourds hidden in the shadows. The heavy machete flashes repeatedly, severing the stems of 2 melons in one fluid, relentless motion that truly showcases his raw efficiency. Reaching upward from a much higher vantage point, he slices through a thick peduncle to claim a flawless specimen for his basket. Balancing the heavy yield securely in both arms, he carefully navigates the tangled roots to deposit the fresh fruits onto a flat rock. He gathers the spoils, arranging 7 or 8 striking striped melons to maximize the bamboo basket's capacity. Not a single inch of space is wasted in this meticulous process. With a firm pat on the loaded container, he verifies the structural integrity of the shoulder straps before embarking on the long return trek. Wading through waist-high grass, the experienced forager keeps a watchful eye on his surroundings, ever vigilant for any remaining hidden treasures that might still be within reach. Creekside foraging begins in earnest. A long wild melon is swiftly detached from its vine near the water's edge, followed by a series of precise harvesting cuts on nearby plants. The freshly gathered purple eggplants are neatly stacked atop the earlier melon haul, prompting an immediate return to the dense, tangled weeds. However, a colossal patterned gourd demands a strenuous two-handed effort, its sheer size bringing a rare spark of surprise to the veteran gatherer as he works. The giant falls. A crisp snap echoes as the thick stem of the massive gourd is finally severed, requiring a steady, laborious carry back to camp. Brushing aside the chaotic shrubbery, a pale white melon is uncovered and swiftly harvested to crown the colorful, heavy pile of vegetables. Seeking protective cover for his precious bounty, he approaches a towering papaya tree, swinging the blade in wide arcs to reap broad leaves that will shield the harvest from the elements. Meticulous sorting commences. White melons and purple eggplants are carefully laid out to assess their freshness before the meticulous repacking process officially begins. Hard, pressure-resistant small melons form a solid foundation at the bottom, ensuring vital structural stability for the heavy load during transit. 2 massive purple banana flowers are placed next, followed by a neat layer of long eggplants to perfectly fill the remaining gaps. Finally, a thick bundle of emerald papaya leaves seals the entire harvest, creating an impenetrable natural lid for the long journey ahead. The nylon rope is pulled taut and knotted with practiced expertise, securing the precious cargo against the rigors of the rugged forest transit. Shouldering the towering green basket, Than-Tru departs the quiet cabin and vanishes into the dense trail, eventually emerging onto the bustling, damp streets of the town. A curious housewife in a floral shirt immediately intercepts him, her eyes locked onto the exotic purple banana flower protruding from the heavy load. She questions the unusual produce, prompting a brief pause as he prepares to explain its culinary value. He explains the culinary synergy of wild banana flower and papaya shoots, transforming a simple vegetable into a true necessity. A helmeted woman approaches, prompting quick pricing and a deft response to her sudden skepticism. Offering a strategic bundle deal, he adapts his tactic to secure the hesitant buyer. A passerby mocks his online fame, a sharp jab met with a polite smile as he continues selling papaya leaves. The helmeted woman picks a pale melon as Than-Tru displays a giant purple banana flower. A blue floral housewife crouches to inspect, prompting him to set up the scale. He announces the weight while an elderly woman in a colorful scarf checks her basket. Next, he whiz greens for a snakeskin shirt customer as the floral lady watches. Than-Tru quotes the total for the snakeskin customer, swiftly swapping items on the scale to keep the deal moving. He aggressively pitches the giant purple banana flower, urging her to stir-fry it with papaya shoots for superior flavor. Citing the low price and unique wild taste, he convinces the hesitant buyer of its culinary merit. She finally relents, handing over cash while the blue floral housewife quietly browses the remaining stock in the background. Addressing concerns. A housewife in black embroidered attire scrutinizes a small melon, her sudden hesitation triggered by a tiny hole in the green rind. He clarifies that the blemish is not a sign of insect infestation, but merely a superficial scratch that leaves the sweet flesh perfectly intact. The bustling market background frames the arrival of a blue-clad customer wearing a mask, halting at the stall for a fresh vegetable order. A new pink bag is produced, and the freshly packed vegetables are handed over for a final, thorough quality check amidst the crowd. A male customer arrives. A man in a plaid shirt examines the freshness of the greens, prompting a clear, concise explanation of the current unit price. The scale needle settles at 1.4 kilograms for a bag of eggplants, ensuring absolute transparency and fairness in the weighing process. Understanding the buyer's long journey home, he thoughtfully double bags the mixed order of eggplants and greens to prevent any accidental spillage. The satisfied customer departs with a word of thanks, leaving a woman in a pink helmet observing the seamless, efficient service. Confirming the grand total, Van True accepts the large bills while the pink-helmeted woman gives a thumbs up of genuine approval. The transaction concludes with a securely tied bag as the satisfied buyer walks away, marking the complete depletion of the inventory. Tucking the spring scale into his bamboo basket, he bids farewell to the neighboring vendor and promises a return next Sunday. Shouldering the load, he crosses the busy street and steps into a well-stocked hardware and general store. Seeking a brief respite, Van True selects a yellow can beverage from the fridge. After paying, he cracks it open with practiced ease, tilting his head back for a long, deeply refreshing gulp that visibly suits him. Shifting focus to future harvests, he accepts a bag of pumpkin seeds from the shop owner. He carefully studies the packaging instructions, discussing the proper planting season. Finally, handing over the cash and receiving change, he tucks the red plastic bag securely into his bamboo basket, ready for the next cycle. Preparing provisions for the week ahead, Van True points decisively at a specific cut of pork belly, negotiating the final price before handing over the cash for this premium protein. With the meat securely acquired, he transitions to a nearby clothing stall. Here, an attentive shop assistant carefully adjusts the collar of a gray shirt on his frame. He tests the fit with a slight, almost shy demeanor, ultimately approving the garment. Satisfied with the look, he promptly retrieves his wallet to settle the asking price, completing his essential errands. The journey home begins. Red bags containing meat and clothes are stuffed into the massive bamboo basket, joining seats and other essential supplies. He navigates through dense foliage and slippery stones, finally approaching the cabin to a frantic, joyous welcome from his loyal dogs. Crouching down, he strokes their heads, pressing noses in an intimate greeting. Promising a meat feast, he watches them circle excitedly, seemingly understanding the delicious reward awaiting them after the long trek. Stepping into the dim cabin, he shuts the door halfway before unloading his heavy basket onto the wooden floor. An aluminum pot and fresh pork are carefully removed, showcasing the day's successful market bounty. Crouching on creek stones, he rinses a basin under flowing water to prepare for the cleaning task. With intense focus, he scrubs the pork skin and crevices, washing away every trace of blood in the rhythmic current. The feast is served. Van True brings a basin of washed green vegetables to the boiling pot, where the leaves quickly submerge and turn a vibrant emerald hue. Meanwhile, he slices the boiled pork into uniform, appetizing pieces, arranging them neatly on a bamboo tray for the upcoming hearty meal. Sitting down, he takes a large bite of white rice, dipping a slice of rich pork into the sauce before chewing heartily. He then fishes a boiled green vegetable from the pot, combining it with the savory meat for a perfectly balanced, self-sustained mountain meal that reflects his simple yet satisfying lifestyle. Sharing the rewards. A generous scoop of meat and rice is placed on a wooden tray for the golden dog, who immediately buries his face. Scraping the very last grains from the pot, he divides the remainder evenly into two separate plates to ensure absolute fairness. Crouching between the two eating dogs, he gently strokes their fur, softly instructing them to eat peacefully without fighting over the food. The harmonious sound of their enthusiastic chewing fills the air, concluding the day's labor with pure, unadulterated contentment and warmth.
to lớn đấy.